Happy New Year! It's January 3rd. Today I wanted to talk through my beginner calisthenics plan for 2025. So if you are also interested in starting a calisthenics journey this year, definitely stay tuned. I'm just gonna casually talk through what I'm planning to do this year, what my goals are with calisthenics, why I'm choosing calisthenics, and yeah, just kind of walking through what I plan to do. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I actually have another video on my channel talking about why I want to do calisthenics. I recorded that back in, I want to say it was the end of September, maybe the beginning of November. And I have still been inconsistently training, but I'm definitely ready to take it a little bit more seriously and have a little bit more of a regimented training routine for this new year, because I obviously want to make real progress and progress in my calisthenics journey. So I definitely talked more about it in that video, but I will give a little brief rundown of why I'm choosing calisthenics as a 27-year-old. So as a kid, I was always very active, super flexible, and like a lot of little kids. You know, kids have tons of mobility with their soft ass bones and all the energy they have. So I was definitely one of those kids that was always doing flips and splits and just naturally had a lot of mobility and flexibility. And I noticed as I've gotten older, obviously you naturally lose the ability to do a lot of those things. And I was still pretty athletic throughout my childhood and teenage years, but definitely entering adulthood and also having a child pretty young. I had my son when I was 21, and I live a pretty sedentary lifestyle. I work from home, and so I'm constantly at my desk hunched over, and I've noticed that I don't feel good. Like, my body just feels stiff all the time. I feel fatigued. I don't have the flexibility that I had even a couple of years ago. You know, I was definitely still in better shape, you know, like years ago when I had my son, and even right after I had my son. I was actually pretty active. I lived in California also, so that played a big role in, you know, wanting to go outside and be a little bit more active, taking walks and things like that. So I definitely have lost that over the years, and I have inconsistently done at-home workouts. I really love Grow with Joe. Her content is amazing and is very low to no barrier to entry, very beginner friendly, easy stuff. But she focuses a lot more on cardio, getting her heart rate up, and just kind of being active at all. But I was craving more strength, to be honest. And so probably like late summer of last year, my little brother and I started training together a little bit. So he's big into weightlifting and stuff. So I would lift weights with him, and it was cool. I definitely liked feeling like I was actually doing something to gain more strength. But again, it was really hard for me to stay consistent and to find the fun in doing that. Like, it was definitely fun working out with my brother, but other than that, I didn't really enjoy lifting weights. It felt very foreign. I wasn't used to doing it. I felt like I needed his help with everything. I felt like I needed to look everything up because I wasn't sure about form. And it's hard to do that when you're in the gym, and it just feels kind of weird, you know what I mean? So I knew about calisthenics probably for the past few years, but I didn't really consider making that my main form of training or making it a hobby until about like September of last year. I started watching a creator called Summer Fun Fitness. I'll link her channel down below, but she is a really amazing calisthenics athlete. And I've also noticed there's a lot more women joining the calisthenics training scene, which I think is pretty cool. And I think that with calisthenics, it's still kind of not necessarily new, but it's not as widely known as just typical gym bro fitness type stuff. So I think it's there's still just not a lot of not as much resource. There's still definitely a lot out there, but not as much or not as many resources as there is for like just doing basic at-home workouts or training in a gym. So with that being said, I really am excited to have a more regimented routine when it comes to calisthenics. And the reason why I love calisthenics is that, similar to doing at-home workouts or traditional at-home like sit-ups and things like that, still body weight fitness, but maybe not as defined as like training toward very specific skills, which is how I would differentiate calisthenics from like regular body weight fitness. I really like that, you know, there's still a very low barrier to entry. It's easy to get started. You don't really need equipment. Equipment can help, but even then, the equipment can be very cheap, and you can use a lot of things that are already around your house, like if you have an ottoman, chairs, you know, whatever, that kind of thing, even a countertop. So that's why I really like calisthenics, and it gives me, again, that nostalgic feeling that I'm a kid again, and that I'm working toward actual skills and not just working out to get stronger, or just working out for the body aesthetics or whatever the case may be. So when I did my first real calisthenics workout last year, I was really excited, because even now when I do calisthenics, it doesn't feel like how I would feel when I was lifting weights in the gym. When I'm lifting weights in the gym, it kind of just feels like a means to an end, versus when I'm training calisthenics, it's fun, and it doesn't feel like I'll get through the workout. I'm like, I can't believe that was the workout. Like, that was so fun. And it's definitely challenging. Don't get me wrong. You still run into those moments where you're just like, I don't even know how I'm ever going to be able to do this in any meaningful progression. But it really is a lot of fun. And you can feel when you're doing it, you can feel how your body can and will function better once you master the skills. So going back to Summer Fun Fitness, I watched her video. I don't remember what it's titled, but I will link it below once I upload this. She talks about, as a beginner, how to curate a good calisthenics routine. And so using that as a guide, and as well as ChatGPT, I kind of created my own workout regimen or calisthenics training regimen for the rest of January. And so in the video, again, I'm kind of loosely quoting here, just trying to recall. I have notes, but my thingy's loading up still. So she talks about Summer Fun Fitness. I'm just gonna call her Summer. Summer talks about having goals, having mobility goals, strength goals, and calisthenics skills goals, I believe. I want to say that's correct. If I'm wrong, I may be slightly off, but for the most part, I'm pulling up my notes right now so I can look. Okay, so yeah. So step 1 is to choose a skill. Step 2 is to choose a mobility goal. And step 3 is to choose a strength-based goal. And so using that as a guideline, I put my goals in ChatGPT and created just like a loose regimen. And I also asked ChatGPT to give me different progressions and regressions, just in case the default ends up being too easy or too hard. So using that as a guide, I'm kind of tweaking what ChatGPT gave me, and then every single day writing out what I actually want to do. And for the most part, I'm keeping all of the suggestions that ChatGPT gave me, but making adjustments as needed. And yeah, so with the skill, Summer recommends 10 minutes of training after the warm-up, and these skills can be something like a handstand, a crow pose, a forearm stand. And so for skills, I chose a crow pose, so that's what I'm working on in my training. And then for the mobility goal, she recommends Summer recommends going in and out of mobility in the warm up and in your cool down. And so for my mobility goal, I have a split. So, and guys, these are things that I'm aiming for at the end of the year. So keep that in mind. I know these might sound kind of ambitious. Again, I'm starting off as a beginner. So these are pretty ambitious goals that I want to focus on like throughout the entire year. And if I get there sooner, then great, and I can readjust my goals. And third is to choose a strength-based goals, like pushing skills, and that kind of thing. So my strength-based goals for the end of the year are 10 clean form, perfect form push-ups, and 30-second or a 20-second L sit. So those are my goals. So to kind of bring everything together, I want to be able to do a crow pose. I want to be able to do a split. I want to be able to do 10 clean, perfect form push-ups. And I want to be able to do a 20 to 30-second L sit. So those are my calisthenics goals for the year. And again, once I determine those goals, I put everything in ChatGPT, told it the format that I need for training, and I have like a every other day kind of schedule. In between my calisthenics training days, I'm doing like light rest day or like a active rest day. So like a light yoga session, a 30-minute walk, a jog, something like that. So I might even throw in like a Grow with Joe video in there for my active rest days that I'm taking off of my calisthenics training. So yeah, that's pretty much my my goal for my calisthenics training plan this year. I'm really excited. I think what I'll end up doing, since I'm taking this kind of like day by day approach, like I said, I do have a training plan for the entire month, but I don't know how much I'm going to stick to it. I'm kind of more so using it as a guide, as I said, and I'm writing out every day what I actually want to do. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is upload shorts to show what I'm actually doing every day. And if you're interested in seeing what that looks like and following along and seeing my progress, then yeah, definitely subscribe and check out the rest of my content. But I'm really excited because yeah, calisthenics is super cool. And I feel like it's just such a great, like functional, real life way to improve your body, and not just focusing on aesthetics or weight or, you know, strength in itself. It is just so holistic and it feels very organic when at least for me, you know, I can only speak for myself, but when I'm training calisthenics, it feels so organic and fun, and I can actually feel and understand why I'm doing what I'm doing versus when I'm just, you know, curling dumbbells. I'm just like, okay, like, yeah, my biceps are going to get a little stronger or bigger, versus, you know, when I'm in training my calisthenics, I actually know, like, I want to get better form so that I can perform this L sit. I'm stretching out my hamstrings and strengthening my hamstrings so I can get a split one day. You know, it all makes sense, and it all feels very, the progression is so easy because you understand, okay, once I master this, I'm going to go on to this next level and so on, and I'm going to just keep going forward. So I really love that about calisthenics, and I'm really excited to see my progress throughout this year. And I definitely hope that someone else gets value from me sharing my journey. And yeah, that's really all that I have for today, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.